So one of my biggest complaints with my 1999 Boxster is just how sloppy the shifter is in it. It's one of the sloppiest out of any cars that I've owned. Just finding the right gears, you can just see how much play there is just throughout neutral, but also just the gear engagement. Like, there's a lot of play once you're actually engaging the gears, and everything just seems really sloppy and kind of worn out. I know there is a lot of plastic in the gear shift mechanism, and the car has 144,000 miles on it, so I'm going to replace this with a 997 gear shifter that has about a third of the miles on it, and it's supposed to be an improved shifter either way, so I'm about to find out if that makes a difference and if it's worth the upgrade. This is the inside of the stock shifter. You can see it's plastic, but it does fit really tight over the shifter, so I don't think that there's too much play in the actual shift knob itself. I know some people like to upgrade to the metal ones. I haven't seen one that I really like. I just wanted to show the inside of that, but it is very snug over the shifter itself, so I don't think there's too much play in that. So I'm trying to figure out exactly where the play is in the shifter. Looking at the slop, I think a lot of it has to do with these plastic bushings down here. There's a good amount of play in those, and then maybe with this connection point over here. So we'll see if we can compare it with the new shifter. I'll post links in the description to how I removed the center console and the shift knob itself. It was very easy. So looking at the two shifter mechanisms, the biggest difference I see right off the bat is this metal reinforcement plate on the 997 shifter. And then just playing with it, the biggest difference I notice is the amount of play. In the original shifter, you can see the components moving there. Whereas this one, right now I'm not detecting any play in it. When I install it, I'm going to use this bracket, and I'll put the part number along with the part number for the shifter in the description. That's going to go on in this orientation here. And that's going to allow me to reconnect the cables and keep everything aligned. So the new shifter's installed, and it's immediately apparent that it has much more positive engagement in each gear, and the shifts are shorter. Here right online, they're around 15% shorter each throw, so forward and back. Feels much more positive. You don't have to go as far side to side. There's a lot less slop in the middle and in each gear. So far it feels really good, so I can't wait to drive it. The difference between the regular 997 shifter, which this one is, and the one out of the GT3 is that these are metal bushings. I'm not going to own the car, or I don't plan on putting too many miles on it, so that seems more like something for just less wear and tear in the future, and so then it will hold up better. But I don't know if those metal components would really have that big of a difference in, if you're only driving it a few thousand miles a year. If these plastic bushings hold up, then I don't think having those metal would make that much of a difference in the shift quality. It may just allow it so if you have it for 100,000 miles, it'll hold up longer. So that and the price difference is why I went with the standard 997 shifter. I read mixed reviews about the short shift kit, which you could also install, and I'm sure it would be just as easy as this. It wasn't that much more money, but I read mixed things about how notchy it was, and I'd rather sacrifice a little bit of a longer throw for something that has smoother action to it. Alright, I'm back for my test drive after I installed the shifter, and it makes a huge difference. I highly recommend upgrading. I got it for $130 off of eBay, off a 2006 with around 50,000 miles. So like I just showed you before, just very positive engagements. The gates are better defined when you're shifting into gear, and it just feels a lot more solid. The shorter throws are, I mean, it's helpful, but it's just really, it just feels more precise. It doesn't feel as good as a Miata, but it's just obviously gonna have a different feel because this is cable versus having the stick shift itself, actually go into the transmission housing. So for $130, you can't go wrong. The install wasn't too bad. If you take your time, it might take you around 2 hours or so, maybe 3 with a lot of breaks and looking at YouTube videos and that kind of stuff. But overall, great modification.